What happened to Captain Archer after Star Trek Enterprise ended? Star Trek Enterprise was only the beginning of Captain Jonathan Archer's Scott Bakula decorated career in Starfleet and serving the United Federation of Planets. Enterprise was the first Star Trek prequel series that retconned Jonathan Archer as the first captain of the Enterprise. Commanding Starfleet's first Warp 5 capable starship, Archer led the NX-1 Enterprise on historic explorations and built the crucial alliances that led to the formation of the Federation. Because Star Trek Enterprise was canceled after only 4 seasons, audiences only saw 4 years of Captain Archer's Starfleet career. Star Trek Enterprise's controversial series finale, These Are the Voyages, filled in some blanks about Archer's 10 years as captain before he helped found the Federation. Interestingly, Captain Archer's canonical post-Enterprise life details were seen in a data file accessed by the Mirror Universe's Commander Jonathan Archer in Star Trek Enterprise Season 4's In a Mirror, Darkly Part 2. Captain Archer continued to make history after he left the NX-1 Enterprise behind. Captain Archer became Admiral and Federation President after Star Trek Enterprise ended. Captain Jonathan Archer's command of the NX-1 Enterprise lasted for 10 years, from 2250 to 2260. Afterward, Archer accepted a promotion to Admiral. In 2161, Archer presided over the founding of the United Federation of Planets by United Earth, Vulcan, Teller, and Andoria. Archer's close ally, General Thylek Shran Jeffrey Combs, appointed Jonathan as an honorary member of the Andorian Guard in 2164, followed by Archer named ambassador to Andoria from 2169 to 2175. Admiral Archer retired from Starfleet as Chief of Staff Starfleet Command. Jonathan Archer served as a Federation councilman from 2175 to 2183 before becoming president of the United Federation of Planets from 2184 to 2192. Among Archer's accolades are the Medal of Valor, the Star Cross, and the Federation Citation of Honor. Historians regard Archer as the greatest explorer of the 22nd century. Jonathan Archer died in his home in upstate New York in 2245 at age 133, one day after witnessing the launch of the USS Enterprise NCC 1701. Scott Bakula is one of the most requested Star Trek actor comebacks by fans, but Bakula has not portrayed Jonathan Archer since 2005. An Emmy nominee and Golden Globe winner before he joined Star Trek, Scott Bakula's acting career continued with lead roles in Men of a Certain Age and NCIS, New Orleans, and guest roles in numerous other TV series. While his Star Trek Enterprise castmate Jolene Blalock recently reprised T'Pol on Star Trek Lower Decks, Scott Bakula still hasn't returned to Star Trek. Captain Christopher Pike Anson Mount cites Captain Jonathan Archer as his hero and inspiration. After distancing himself from Star Trek for years, Scott Bakula joined his fellow Star Trek actors and creatives to accept the Peabody Award for the franchise in 2024. This prompted speculation that Bakula would be willing to return to Star Trek as Jonathan Archer under the right circumstances. Meanwhile, Star Trek Strange New Worlds has genuflected to Star Trek Enterprise, and Captain Christopher Pike Anson Mount cites Captain Jonathan Archer as his hero and inspiration. When Star Trek Enterprise faded into the stars in 2005, it left fans with a bittersweet farewell. Captain Jonathan Archer, portrayed by Scott Bakula, stood as one of the franchise's most pivotal figures, an explorer who bridged the gap between Earth's first steps into interstellar diplomacy and the birth of the United Federation of Planets. Yet, despite his crucial role, Archer's post-series fate was left largely to the imagination, with only scattered hints in later Star Trek lore. For fans of both the character and the franchise, the question lingers: what exactly happened to Captain Archer after Enterprise ended? Let's chart the possible trajectory of Jonathan Archer's life after the NX-1 was decommissioned and the final credits rolled, blending canon hints, expanded universe material, and a touch of informed speculation. The architect of the Federation. At the end of Enterprise, the year was 2161 and Archer had just presided over the signing of the charter that officially created the United Federation of Planets. His leadership in diplomacy, shaped by countless encounters with Vulcans, Andorians, Tellarites, and Klingons, positioned him as a natural statesman in this fledgling alliance. According to fragmented canon references, including mentions in Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Star Trek reference materials, Archer went on to enjoy a distinguished career in both Starfleet and interstellar politics. One of the clearest clues comes from the TNG episode In a Mirror, Darkly, which featured an alternate universe database entry citing Archer as a Federation president. While non-canon, it harmonizes well with what we know about his trajectory. The official Star Trek encyclopedia and novels also support the idea that Archer later served as Starfleet Chief of Staff and eventually as Federation President, Starfleet Admiral, and beyond. After captaining the NX-1 for nearly a decade, Archer was promoted to Admiral. In this role, he focused on shaping Starfleet into a force not just of exploration, but also of defense and diplomacy. Archer's tenure as Admiral was marked by the founding of Starfleet Academy, a key institution in Star Trek lore. The Star Trek chronology by Michael and Denise Okuda credits Archer with a central role in its establishment, and even names a building in his honor, the Archer Administration Building, still standing centuries later in TNG's 24th century. Archer's experience in navigating tense encounters with the Andorians and Vulcans gave him a reputation as a master negotiator. Many historians within the Star Trek universe argue that his balanced approach to diplomacy and pragmatic exploration laid the groundwork for future captains like Kirk and Picard. A tangled legacy. While his achievements were monumental, Archer's legacy is complicated. His use of questionable tactics during the Xindi crisis, such as commandeering a ship and engaging in morally gray actions to prevent Earth's destruction, earned him criticism in later years. Starfleet historians, as referenced in the non-canon Federation, the first 150 years, debated whether Archer's occasional Machiavellian streak was justified by the existential threat humanity faced. Yet, even his detractors acknowledged that without Archer's grit and vision, the Federation might never have coalesced into the force for good it became. His ability to learn from mistakes and forge trust with alien species proved indispensable in those fragile early years of interstellar cooperation. Archer's final years. According to the biographical plaque glimpsed in Star Trek, Enterprise's final episode, these are the voyages. Jonathan Archer died in 2245 at the age of 133. A remarkably long life, though plausible considering advancements in medicine during his era. That same year, the USS Enterprise NCC 1701 was launched under Captain Robert April, symbolizing the culmination of Archer's dream of a united fleet of exploration. Though no canon source details how Archer spent his final decades, it's widely speculated both in fan circles and licensed novels that he continued to serve as a mentor and advisor to new generations of explorers and diplomats. His wisdom and first-hand experience in the turbulent early days of deep space exploration were invaluable to shaping both Starfleet's and the Federation's ethos. Archer's enduring impact. Jonathan Archer is a bridge character, not just within Star Trek canon, but between the hopeful ambition of humanity's first steps into the stars and the grand, utopian future the franchise celebrates. Though later captains like Kirk, Picard, Sisko, and Janeway are more widely known, Archer's fingerprints are on everything that followed, from the Prime Directive to the ideals of peaceful exploration and coexistence. Even centuries later, Archer's influence is tangible. Starships bore his name, the USS Archer, and Starfleet cadets studied his early missions for lessons in leadership and diplomacy. His statue, referenced in background materials, stands tall at Starfleet headquarters, a silent sentinel reminding future explorers that the stars,